Okay. Qutbuddin Aybak was the real founder of Turkish dominion in India. He was born in Turkish parents in Turkestan. After the death of first master, Qutbuddin Aybak was learnt and acquired training to soldier in company and Kaji. Qutbuddin Aybak, his career and conquest during the absence of his master, Qutbuddin Aybak cruised a rebellion in Ajmer and Meerut in the year 1192. In 1194 AD, he cruised a second rebellion in Ajmer and after that joined hands with his master and returned to India to fight against other Kaunas and other states. Qutbuddin Aybak Qutbuddin Aybak showed his bravery against the king of Kaunas and defeated. In 1195, someone someone is disturbing. Please. In 1195, had to go Ajmer to suppress another revolt there. In 1197, he captured Badun and Chandwar. The same year, he punished Bhimadev of Gujarat and plundered his capital to revenge it. Association to the throne. Muhammad Ghori died in 1206 AD. There was no male successor to him. In his life, seems to have desired Qutbuddin Aibak should succeed him in Hindustan. It was only due to this reason that Muhammad Ghori gave him the powers and
Oi.
all the successive unit upon him in the title of Malik. After the death of Muhammad Ghori, Qutbuddin Aibak was invited by the citizens of Lahore and assumed sovereignty of power. From Delhi, he proceeded to Lahore and formed a government there. His formal association took place in 24th June 1206. And then Qutbuddin started his foreign policy. According to Dr. A.L. Srivastav, Qutbuddin, hello, someone is disturbing, please be silent. Off your microphone. Dr. A.L. Srivastav has written Qutbuddin's entire reign was devoted to foreign affairs. First of all, he had to recheck with his chief rivals, namely Tajuddin Yalduz and Nasiruddin Kuibacha. After that, he appointed the in charge of powerful state and posted his equal. Secondly, the important Hindu chiefs who had been always time of Muhammad of Ghor were anxious to take advantage of his death to the reign of their last independence. The greater danger to Qutbuddin Aibak was Central Asia. Alauddin Muhammad Shah had his eyes on Ghazni and Delhi. This great task before Qutbuddin was to protect Delhi. After the death of Muhammad Ghori, Tajuddin Yalduz and occupied Ghazni. He was compelled to leave the city and come back towards Punjab. Qutbuddin Yalduz did not allow him to enter into Punjab. He was afraid that Shah Alauddin Muhammad would occupy the vacant of Ghazni. At that time, the Rajputs were also a headache for Qutbuddin Aibak. But he was so much engaged with the politics of northwestern regions and that of the Bengal that he could follow a policy of aggression against Rajput. But accidentally, Qutbuddin Aibak died in 1210 due to the injury received as a result of fell from his horse while playing polo. He was buried at Lahore and raised over his remains. Actually, Qutbuddin Aibak was a brave soldier, a great Muslim ruler, a great pattern of learning. Every quality he had. And then Aram Shah, after the death of Qutbuddin, in Lahore, Aram Shah ascended the throne. But after that, Iltutmish ascended the throne in 1211 to 1236. Give a critical account of the constructive achievement of Iltutmish. This question arise. We will solve this type of. Iltutmish, whose full name was Sahahuddin Iltutmish, was the greatest of the self kings. He was the self to self who He was the slave to slave who rose to eminency by sheer dint of merit and become the Sultan. Early career of Iltutmish. The next point. Okay. Iltutmish was born of noble Turkish peasants of Ilabari tribe. In his boyhood, he was sold as a slave by his brother. Jamaluddin, a merchant, purchased him and carried him to Ghazni. He was sold once again to Qutbuddin. Iltutmish rose step by step. He had signs a promise on his forehead for his early age. He was handsome and charming person. He received training as a soldier and also learned reading and writing. It is said that Muhammad Ghor was impressed by him and recommended him Qutbuddin in the following words. Aibak had been to Muhammad Ghori, Iltutmish was to Aibak who treated him like a son, just like your son. Qutbuddin Aibak also favored him and he became the master of the royal hunt. It was said that next he made the governor of Barani. He married the daughter of Qutbuddin Aibak and ultimately became the governor of Bedouin. After the death of Qutbuddin, Aram Shah had succeeded him. Aram Shah was not a competent ruler and the nobles of the invited Iltutmish to throne. Iltutmish defeated Aram Shah and became Sultan of Delhi in the year 1211. He was not a usurper. Modern writers are of the opinion that Iltutmish was not a usurper, but it is not true. In fact, he was not the usurper because there was nothing that during the day there was not unified Turkish state in the country, and in the Hindustan was divided into 5 independent states: Bedouin, Lahore, Lakhnauti, Multan, and Uch. Iltutmish was a candidate of the nobility and officials of Delhi. He was a duly elected by the officials. Secondly, he had right to conquer the throne by force. Thirdly, he was recognized by Khalifa of Baghdad. When Iltutmish succeeded in getting the throne in Delhi, he was not a slave, but governor of Bedouin. He had a great energy and ability. He was a moderate and a excellent person, but he faced so many difficulties. According to Dr. Ishwari Prasad, he did not find the throne of Delhi a bed of roses. He was confronted with a dangerous situation which caused him to a little embarrassment. In the year 1211, when Iltutmish succeeded in getting the throne of Delhi, he had to face a large number of difficulties. He was threatened from all sides. He was forced by from all sides. He was attacked from all sides. According to Dr. A.L. Srivastava, has given a very clear picture of his difficulties and position of India during those days. He was written, he found himself master of Delhi and Bedouin and outlying district extending from Banaras in the east to Sibalik Hills in the west. The Punjab was hostile to him. Kuibacha was master of Multan, and he extended his kingdom to include Bhatinda, Khurasam, and Surasti. Step by step taken by Iltutmish to remove the difficulties. First step he taken contest with Yalda, defeated and death of Kuibacha, and then he started his journey to recover Bengal, operation against Rajput, reconquest of Doab, invasion of Changing Khan of India. Other achievements of Qutbuddin are also remarkable. Reconstruction of Qutub Minar, progress of Delhi, introduction of Arabic coin, and other things. And his point of administrative reforms also very good. Iltutmish was a good administrator. He took certain steps to improve his revenue and finance department. No other Muslim ruler took such steps before him. And therefore he was a very good administrator also. Character and estimate of Iltutmish was also so good: a brave soldier and a general, a great ruler and administrator, a great religious man. In this way, Iltutmish was not only a good ruler but also a brave soldier. Real founder of Muslim rule in India. Now a question arises: who was actually a real founder of Muslim rule in India. Majority of the historians are of the view that Iltutmish was the founder of Muslim rule in India, though Arabs had invaded India in the early 8th century and established their rule in Sindh. But this is could not be strengthened. Muhammad Ghazni invaded India or 17 occasions not with a view to found an empire and rule there, but only acquire as much wealth as possible. Muhammad Ghori conquered parts of India territory to establish an empire, but it was a part of his larger kingdom. He simply appointed Aibak as the governor of the Indian territory and himself remained him home country. Neither he was a Muslim sultan nor he established a firm and strong Muslim rule in India. Though Aibak became the master of Indian territory, established a foundation of an empire, solved his connection with Ghazni and became an independent ruler, but some historians do not regard him as an independent Muslim sultan on account of the following reason. So, which are the reasons? Now we follow. Firstly, he received no certificate from Khalifa for being a sultan. He was simply a ruler of Hansi and Delhi. No coin bearing his name has been found so far. No khutbah was read in his name. Though Muhammad Ghori gave him the title of sultan, but it could not be recognized because it was the prerogative of Khalifa only, and Muhammad Ghori was not entitled to give such honor. Yalduz had not expected the supremacy of Aibak. Aram Shah got coins to Qutba, read in the name, he was given the title of Sultan, but he was not worthy of it. Nobles of the court made him Sultan. Due to certain circumstances in the empire, neither he had a qualities of a general of an army, nor he conquered any territory. His empire began to crumble after the death of Aibak. He would be better to call him as a destroyer of an empire than its founder. As against all these rulers, Iltutmish established an empire. He did not support the doctrine of divine right. He was given title of Sultan-e-Hind by the Khalifa. He was a religious man and he was successful in him. Aim of his giving solid foundation to his kingdom by his strength of character and religious. He could give some privacy to the empire whose foundation was led by him. It is thus clear that he was the real founder of Muslim rule in India, and he should also be called the actual founder of the ruler of Delhi Sultanate. And then after the two persons, then a succession started by Rukuddin Firoz Shah, and he was also a very extravagant. But after that, Reggia, Bahram Shah, Murshid Shah, Nasiruddin Muhammad, etc. were ascended the throne. Regia Sultana started his rule 1236 to 1240. As he has been previously written, Regia was nominated by his father as his successor, but unfortunately she could not sit on the throne. Just after the death of his father, ultimately when the army and people found that Rukuddin Firoz Shah was not an able king, Regia was put on the throne. According to Dr. R.P. Tripathi in his famous book, Some Aspect of Muslim Administration, has written that considering the time and general outlook of the Muslim people, chiefly of the military and religious classes, the selection of Regia was unique and most daring. Anyway, the problems and achievements of Regia started. According to Minhaj-us-Siraj, Regia was a great sovereign and sagacious, just, a benevolent, the pattern of learning and justice. And when Regia ascended the throne, she found that it was not a bed of roses. Muhammad Junadi, the Wazir of Kingdom, did not acknowledge her association to the throne, and many provincial governors opposed her. In this way, the Regia's time period was very less. And after that, Bahram Shah ascended the throne 1240 to 1242. And then Alauddin Masud Shah ascended the throne one by one. In this way, all the genealogical table, Kutabuddin Aibak, Aram Shah, Iltutmish, Nasiruddin, Rejia, Mujauddin, Rukuddin Firoz, Nasiruddin Muhammad, Alauddin Masud Shah, and Gyasuddin Balban started captures the throne. In this way, the slave dynasty started, and then in 1266 to 1290 AD, Balban and his successor ascended the throne. So now a question arises: estimate the contribution of Balban to the consolidation of Delhi Sultanate. If Balban followed the policy of blood and iron, summarize Balban's principles of government. If Balban was the most remarkable ruler who saved the infant Muslim state from destruction, give a critical account of the constructive achievement of Balban. Anyway, Ghiyasuddin Balban ascended the throne in 1266 AD. So, early life of Ghiyasuddin Balban. Ghiyasuddin Balban was the shining star of slave dynasty. The original name of Balban was Bahauddin, and he was an Ilbari Turk. His father was Khan of 10,000 family. At his very early age, he had lived Turkestan. Many of historians are of the opinion that he was born to give strength to Islam. And so God persuaded to leave Turkish. Lenpol, a greatest historian, has written, the Almighty desired to grant a support to the power of Islam and to strengthen the Mohammedan faith, to extend his glorious shadow over it and to preserve Hindustan. Within the range of his favor and protection, he therefore removed Balban in this youth and from Turkestan. He was captured by Mongols who conveyed him Baghdad, where he was purchased by Jamaluddin of Basra. Khawaja was took him to Delhi, where Samsuddin Iltutmish purchased him. In this way, Balban showed a sign of future promise, and Iltutmish enrolled him as a member of the 40 slaves. Okay. The temporary downfall of Balban started, and then the achievement of Balban also so many. Suppression of rebellion in Doab, Bengal, Northwest, crushing of the revolts of Hindus, etc. And many remarkable work was done by him, such as Balban as a king, Balban's theory of kingship, and organization of the army, organization of the spy system, destruction of the 40. These questions are you will remember, because short question also 10 marks, 10 marks in this exam. Okay. Next, the suppression of rebellion and Dokai's problem of Bengal, many problems faced by Balban. At that time, he faced, there were more than 1,000 influx of the warriors of their tribes riding camels, great commander, a better with the shield of dash-like body. Murderer of the Shah Khan and invasion of Mughals attacked Balban. But the death of Prince Muhammad, the eldest son of Sultan, made in Balba. He felt that the future of his dynasty was dark. Muhammad had already been nominated as the successor of Balban. His death was a fatal shock to the old Sultan. On heritage of the news of his son during the day, he continued to discharge the kingly duties. It appears concerned in the night in the place to used with the bitterly. Balban never recovered him from shock and tension and fell on the bed. Seeing this end near, he called his second son Bukhara Khan ascended the throne. In this way, the Balban chapter over. Anyway, Balban as an administrator, Balban was a warrior, Balban as a pattern of learning, Balban was a staunch Sunni Muslim, Balban's weakness and extreme racialism is very important matter. And then Kaikabad dynasty, in the, one by one, the Muslim rule started, and then Alauddin Khilji ascended the throne. So many questions arises in Alauddin chapters. Number one, Alauddin was the greatest ruler of Sultanate period. Discuss. What measure was adopted by Alauddin Khilji to extend his empire? Number three, if Alauddin Khilji saw clearly the dangers to which society was exposed to his days, and this is third question. So in this question we will solve. First we write down about introduction. Alauddin was the nephew of Jalaluddin Khilji. He was very active, spirituated young man. He was ambitious, and due to his ambitions, he planned to kill his uncle and get himself crowned as a king. He was successful in that. But every event must have a cause. He also faced so many problems. Problems arises in life of every administrator. Problems of Alauddin also, many problems faced by Alauddin also. Alauddin had to face many problems when he became the king. These problems can be termed as under. Alauddin got the kingdom with the bloodshed, and so he became the object of the hatred to the people. Number two, there was a large section of nobles who against Alauddin Khilji. They were the followers of Jalaluddin, and so they were not ready to forget the murderer of their master. And number three, he was far from Delhi. Okay, sir. He was far off from Delhi, and to reach the capital city and get the throne was a great problem from him because the widow queen of Jalaluddin had made many problems. There was a large number of Hindu chiefs who was fed to with Turkish rule and were always ready to push them out. Number five, Mongols were attacking the southwestern borders of the Sultanate of Delhi. Alauddin Khilji captured Delhi. What do you mean by usurper like word in discuss about Qutbuddin in Qutbuddin Aibak? I will discuss these things after after half in ଅଧଘଣ୍ଟେ ଭିତରେ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ମାନେ last half an hour I will discuss and solve your problem. Okay, Sharmishta Sahu. What do you mean by usurper? ତା ମାନେ that means the ascender. Okay. A capture of Delhi. Alauddin was bold enough to face so many difficulties. First and foremost, he was to reach Delhi and made up his mind to conquer Delhi. Captured of opponents. Oh, capture of opponents of Delhi. Oh, oh. Capture of opponents. The second thing that Alauddin was capture of Delhi, all his opponents. He was his brother Ulugh Khan and his Jafar Khan. His 50,000 soldiers to Multan to dispose Arkil Khan. After that, the conquest of northern India started. Next after Alauddin Khilji, we will teach about the point of advantage of Alauddin Khilji's military and economic reforms. Explain Alauddin's military and economic politics and examine the results. In this way, the Sultanate period one by one over, and then the geographical table Nasiruddin, Sahauddin, Jalaluddin, Malik Kafur, Aril Khan, etc. were ascended the throne. Successor of Alauddin and the fall of the Khilji. Alauddin had no able successor. This is a correct thing. Then we started the Mughal period. Okay. Who was the founder of Mughal Empire? Tell me about who was the founder of Mughal Empire?
Babur.
Babur. Why you called him? Babur was the founder of Mughal Empire? Okay, I will tell about this. Who was Babur? why he is known as the founder of Mughal Empire. Babur is one of the most attractive personality in this way. He graced the Asiatic throne. He was born in 1483 and was connected with the families of Taimur and Changing Khan. His father Umar Sheikh Mirza had the blood of Taimur in his veins, and his mother, his father, who was the ruler of Phagana, died in 1495, and Babur was a boy of 11 years, became the king of Phagana. At the time, his successor Bahadur Shah, surrounded by his enemies to all sides. Dr. Ishwari Prasad writes, Babur was only a tender of and surrounded all sides of formidable enemies. So many problems faced by Babur, difficulties of Babur. Babur had to face many problems at that time to accession the throne. His uncle took up the advantage to attack him. Then he conquest Samarkand, Phagana, and conquest of the other Kabul, and victory of Kandahar. He conquered so many states. Babur's conquest in India, our reasons for the attack of India is very ambitious. Ambition of Babur, fanaticism of Babur, encouragement from old lady, etc. He was give him inspiration to attack India. The first attack of Babur was on Kohat in 1504. Second attack of Babur in 1507. Third attack of Babur in 1590. Fourth attack of Babur in September 1519. Fifth expedition in 1520. Sixth expedition in 1524. In this way, Babur captured all the states. Therefore, in this way, he also faced the first battle of Panipat in 1526. The causes of the success of Babur, significance of battle, so many problems occurred in Babur's life. Therefore, all historians and other people told that Babur was the founder of Mughal Empire. Difficulties of Babur after the battle of Panipat also so many. He solved one by one. Discontentment of indiscipline in subject of administration. Many opponents, discontentment in soldier of are very ambitious. Financial problem also he faced. Opposition by the Rajput. Rajputs were deadly against Babur. After the fall of Lodi dynasty, they were dreaming of a time when they might get rid of Muslim, and so they were a great headache for Babur. Then he faced the Khanwa battle in 1527. Course of battle, the Khanwa battle is also the two forces met each other in Panipat and Khanwa, 16 March 1527. However, certain historians do not agree with this. They established the number of Rajput army between 80,000 to 1 lakh. In this way, but Babur at last finally succeeded the throne. Therefore, told that Babur was the founder of Mughal Empire. In which situation Babur's death made? Tell me about. In which situations Babur death made? Hello? Hello? In which situations Babur death made? Rupasri Barik, tell me. In which situations Babur death made? Okay, I'll tell you. The circumstances leading to Babur's death are curious. It is said that his son Humayun fell sick, and doctors declared that he would not survive. At this moment, some astrologer dedicate that if Babur was ready to leave his most valuable things, Humayun could survive. For Babur, his life was the most valuable thing, and so he walked 3 times round the bed of Humayun and prayed God that his own life may be taken in place of Humayun. He uttered this, I have borne it away, I have borne it away. It is said that from that time onward, Humayun began to recover, and by and by, the condition of Babur became from bed to worse, and ultimately he died on 26 December 1530. Okay. Next, we'll discuss about Humayun. Who was Humayun? Who was Humayun? Hello.
Son of Babur. Son of Babur.
Son of Babur, ma'am.
Give an account of early life of Humayun and difficulties faced by him. Any question about Humayun? Any question about Humayun? Tell me. Hello. Any question about Humayun? Hello. Okay, I'll tell you. Humayun was the eldest son of Babur. He was born in March 508. His mother was Mohima Banu Begum. He had three brothers, Kamran, Askari, and Hindan. Do you understand? Do you understand or not?
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The education system of Babur. Babur took a great care for the education of Humayun. As Babur himself was a scholar, he did his best to educate his son. In his early age, Humayun learned Turki, Arabic, Persian. He had also the knowledge of Hindi language. Humayun had very little interest in literature, and he had also faced so many problems. He was interested in mathematics, philosophy, astronomy, and astrology. Babur also tried to educate him in the art of administration and generalship. He was acquired a military training. He was appointed governor at the age of 20 years. On the eve of the Battle of Panipat in 1526, he went against Hamid Khan and managed to defeat him near Hizar and Firoz. Babur gave him the districts of Hizar, Firoz, and Sambol. In 1527, he was again to send Badas Khan. In 1529, he returned to Agra and was ordered to manage his Jagir of Sambol. Uh, Illness of Babur in 1526, he fell ill at Sambol. He was immediately brought to Agra. It is said that his condition was his condition was so bad. Babur prayed Almighty of God for his recovery and offered his own life in his place. He uttered the following words: "I have borne it away. I have borne it away." It is said that the condition of Humayun began to improve, and Babur fell ill and ultimately died. After the death of Babur, an attempt was made. So many difficulties faced by Humayun also. Ill organized, unconsulted empire, no law of among the Muslims, and then the undependable army, enmity of the Afghans, personal weakness system. In this way, he faced also so many problems. According to V.S. Smith, Humayun, although a cultivated gentleman, not liking to ability, was deficient in the energetic promulgated of his versatile father. His direction to of him probably explain his failures to considerable extent. And then he started his war also with Kalinjar, Battle of Doab, war with Bahadur Shah, and other. Although Humayun was again committed a blunder, though he had captured some Mandu and campaigner, he made arrangements to consolidate his position. He appointed Askari as the governor of Gujarat. Askari also mismanaged the affairs of Gujarat. Bahadur Shah took full advantage of all these things, and he attacked Gujarat and got back to large number of towns. And the local chiefs also helped Bahadur Shah, and thus he was able to capture the whole of Gujarat. Humayun lost Malwa and everything. An eminent writer writes, 1 year had seen the rapid conquest of the two great provinces. The next so was quickly lost. Humayun faced so many problems. After the loss of Gujarat, Humayun stayed in Agra. He got information that Sher Khan had already made himself the master of the whole of Bihar, had defeated the king, Bengal, but he did not nothing to strengthen his position. It was only in 1537 that Humayun made up his mind to punish Sher Khan. He, in the fort of Chunar for 6 months, but could not capture it easily. Ultimately, it was captured by a trick. It was a great military achievement. Dr. Ram Prasad writes, The capture of the fort, however, proved a formidable task. Besides its implication in mismanagement bravely conquered. He was bravely defended by the Afghans. Humayun still wasted his valuable months in Chunar for nothing, then proceeded towards Banaras and stayed there for some time. Instead of taking action against Sher Khan, he made up his mind to conquer Bengal. In 1538, he reached Taligarh and was found in Jalal Khan, son of Sher Khan, was in his way. In this time, the Battle of Chausa, Battle of Kaunaja, etc. were occurred, but Humayun defeat one by one. In this way, Humayun lost his all everything and became faced in so many problems. In January 1556, Humayun slipped down from the building known as Din Panha and died very soon. Thus, he struggled throughout his life. Throughout his life. According to Lenful writes, Humayun tumbled through life and he tumbled out of it. In this way, Humayun's life lost. Character and estimate of Humayun is very remarkable. As a man, he was a good man, pleasure loving, and then he was pleasure loving, a good man, and a ambitious person, and a lover of learning and literature. As a Muslim, Humayun had a great regard for his religion, but he was not a religious bigot. He used to follow the teaching of Islam, but was not strictly as the rulers of the Sultanate period. He was the lover of Sufism and never tried to fight Muslims when they were engaged in the battle with the followers of other religions or his policy toward Hindus. A greatest historian, Dr. A.L. Srivastava writes, as far as his relation with the Hindu were concerned, he did not rise above the standard of his age, not understanding so-called advice of Babur in fictitious. As a soldier and general, he was very good. As an administrator, he was very good. In etc., his considerable natural talent was greatly undermined. In this way, Babur's chapter over. Then we will then I will tell about your important chapter that is known as Akbar. Who was Akbar?
मैम
Who was Akbar?
मैम जो कहले बाबरଙ୍କ विषय हुमायूं जो कहले जे तांको देह भलो होबा पई कहले ମାନେ ଜଣଙ୍କ ଦେହ ଖରାପ ଥିଲା ଆଉ ଜଣ କହିଲେ ବୋଲି ସେ ଭଲ ହେଇଗଲେ
ନା ସେମିତି ନୁହଁ, ତାଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କୋରାନର କି ଗୋଟେ ଜାଳିକି ଗୋଟେ ଇଏଟେ ତା ଚାରିପଟେ ତିନିଥର, ସେଟା ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଇଜ ନଟ୍ ଭେରି ମାନେ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଇଜ ନଟ୍ ଭେରି ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ, ମାନେ ସେଟା ଏମିତି ସତ ନୁହଁ, ବଟ୍ ଏକର୍ଡିଂ ଟୁ ସମ୍ ହିଷ୍ଟୋରିଆନ୍ସ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ସେଣ୍ଟିମେଣ୍ଟସିପ ଅଫ ସମ୍ ରିଜିନର ସେଣ୍ଟିମେଣ୍ଟାଲ, ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ସେଣ୍ଟିମେଣ୍ଟାଲ କରିକି ଆକବରଙ୍କ ଇଏଟାକୁ ଟିକେ ଇଏ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ସେଟା ଗୋଟେ କୁହାଯାଇଛି ଆଉ। ଓକେ, different historians different view. A.L. Srivastava, Elephantine, they told about these things in different opinion. Okay, so 90% are clear, not clear about this thing, but according to Dr. A.L. Srivastava, in these things are okay. How to check? Then we will read about Akbar. Hello? Who was Akbar?
Youngest son of Aurangzeb. Youngest son of Aurangzeb.
Usha. And
Yes,
then,
ma'am.
who was Akbar? Why he famous?
Why he famous? He was a Mughal prince, youngest son of Aurangzeb, and why he is famous, I don't know, ma'am.
Son of Babur.
Yes, son of Babur. Babur.
Sorry, ma'am. Humayun. Sorry, ma'am. Humayun. Babur, Humayun, then Akbar.
Okay. So Akbar विषୟରେ आगे ଟିକେ ଜାଣିଦବା, then we will discuss about the religious policy of Akbar and the Rajput policy of Akbar. These are very important. Okay. Now we start Akbar. Who was Akbar? Akbar is one of the most bright germs of Indian history. He was born in 15th October 1542 in Amarkot. His mother was Hamida Banu Begum. At the time of birth of Akbar, Humayun was a wanderer. He had nothing with him. Still, he was overjoyed by the birth of a son, Nizamuddin Ahmad. Nizamuddin Ahmad writes, fortune now for a time changed its treatment of the emperor by giving him a son and impressing an impressible mark upon the page of time. The child was born on 5th Raja, 1541. 15th October also some historians tell that in 1542. Tadi Begum Khan conveyed this intelligence to the emperor in the neighborhood, Amarkot. He told that the spiritual guidance gave to the child the name of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. At the time of birth of Akbar, Humayun had some kasturi with him. He distributed it amongst his nobles and prayed God that the fame of his son may spread all over the world like kasturi. When Akbar was only 1 year old, Humayun left him in Kandahar in the position of Mirza Askari and himself went to Persia. In 1545, Akbar was sent to Kabul from Kandahar, but Humayun begged to go to Badaskan, leaving Akbar in Kabul. Meanwhile, Kamran attacked Kabul. He got hold of Akbar and tried for his murder. By the grace of God, Akbar survived. In 1551, after the death of Hindal, Akbar was given the Jamindari of Ghazni to Akbar. In 1555, when Humayun returned back to Lahore, Akbar was declared as a successor. He was appointed the governor of Punjab. Also, Bairam Khan was made him his guardian. And then a association to the throne started. At the time of death of Humayun, Akbar was only 13 years old. On 14th February 1556, Bairam Khan and other nobles put him on the throne and he started his rule under the able guidance of Bairam Khan. At that time, the political condition of India was not so good. The political condition of India at that time of association not good. The throne of that Akbar inherited was not a bed of roses. The political condition of India at that time was not far from satisfactory. The political condition and unity of the country had vanished, and practically there was no throne at all for him. He had his rule only a few districts of Punjab. In Kashmir, there was the rule of Muslim. In Kabul, Muhammad Mirza Khan had established his rule. The rulers of Malwa and Gujarat were also independent. Rajput princes had considerable strength, and after the death of Sher Shah, Multan, Kashmir, Malwa, Gujarat, Gondwana and Orissa had become independent at that time. The rulers of these provinces were going strengthened day by day. Other sultans like Akbar also faced so many problems because he was a young child. Akbar had a lot of difficulties and he had to solve these problems. Here we are giving a short account of these problems. Rajput problems, Afghan problems, economic conditions, disorderly environment. So what were the Rajput problems? Though Rajput were crushed, but they had not forgotten their old glory. In times of Humayun, they had increased their strength to such an extent that they were a continuous threat that the Mughals. During the early period of Akbar, there was residing in Rajasthan and central India, there was a great headache for the Mughal Empire. The Afghan problem was the Afghans were also against the Mughal, though Sikandar Shah Suri had been defeated by Humayun, but his power had been crushed. He was in Punjab and was always a threat to Akbar. In eastern provinces, King Muhammad Shah Adil Shah was a strong ruler. His minister had a large army and he was trying to march towards Delhi. There was also a possibility of the attack of Afghans from Bengal, Bihar, Malwa and Gwalior. Thus, Akbar had to face a great threat of Afghans. The economic condition of Akbar also very problematic. Akbar had inherited an empty treasury. For building of his empire, he has need a lot of money, but there was nothing in the treasury. In such a precious situation, a famine broke out, which created a great headache, particularly in Delhi and Agra. But he did not lose his courage. Disorderly environment also occurred. Environment of the country was very dirty. There was looting on all the sides and people were fighting against each other. Mughal nobles were jealous to each other and some of them were in favor that Akbar must go to Kabul. Akbar faced all these problems with great strength and courage because Akbar the Great. In this way, Akbar's life chapter started day by day. And then we will explain about the Akbar's Rajput policy. Explain Akbar's Rajput policy. Okay, start. Hello, student. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Akbar was a great statesman. He is famous for his Rajput policy. Akbar was a pragmatic and he realized that there could no Indian empire without the Rajput, no social and political synthesis without their active cooperation. Akbar was far-sighted ruler. So he directed his attentions toward the Rajput. The credit of opening a new chapter in this direction goes to him. Soon after his association, he tried to win over Rajput by all means as he realized that there could be no empire without the Rajput. No social and political system could be adopted without their active cooperation. Akbar adopted the policy of reconciliation and tried to establish his empire on the willing cooperation of Hindus. According to K. Datta, remarked that by his wise and liberal policy, he won the hearts of all people. Then, to show as an extent that they rendered valuable service to his empire and even said that their blood for it. The empire of Akbar was in the fact that the outcome of the cooperation of Mughal diplomacy and Rajput valued and service. Wherever he failed in the method of friendship, he did not hesitate to resort to warfare. Bikran, Jadpur, Jaisalmer, and the Rajput state which offered the friendly alliance with Akbar. Ranthambore, Kalinjar, and others were annexed the point of sword. But this was always kept in mind that if a Rajput state offered submission during the war, peace terms were started. However, Mewar was the state that always offered a resistance to Akbar. The brave fighters of Mewar always defined the subordination of Akbar. The chief features of Akbar's Rajput policy are given there. At first, he started matrimonial alliance. Matrimonial. What do you mean by matrimonial alliance? Tell me.
Marriage.
वैवाहिक संपर्क वैवाहिक संपर्क okay. First of all, Akbar tried to win over Rajput's heart by matrimonial alliance. The Kachua Raja of Amber, Bihari Mal, was the first to offer his daughter for marriage. Akbar gladly accepted this offer. Bihari Mal was given a command of 5,000 soldiers and his son Bhagwan Das and grandson Mansingh were taken in Mughal service. Both of them were given responsible posts. The marriage of the daughter of Bihari Mal with Akbar is a momentous event in the history of India. A new chapter arises. A new life of the Muslims started. The ruler of Bikaner also married of his daughter to the emperor in 1570, and he was followed by Bhim Singh and Jaisalmer. In 1584, Prince Salim was married the daughter of Raja Bhagwan Das. The freedom of worship and other relaxation also started by Akbar. Though Akbar was a Muslim, but he did not try to interfere in the religious matter of Rajput. They were free to worship their god and goddess. The jizya and the pilgrim tax were abolished. The feeling amongst the Rajputs that they were being discriminated and was removed by one. And he also appointed the Rajputs in royal post. Akbar appointed many Rajput in royal service. They were given posts according to their ability. Some of them appointed in royal post, responsible post, both in civil and military departments. Raja Todormal, Raja Bhagwan Das, and Mansingh were the Rajputs who were given responsible posts in Mughal army. These Rajput helped in lot in expanding the Mughal empire. And then Akbar started war against Rajput. This is a great mistake for Akbar. But Akbar was able to win over the most of Rajput state by friendly treatment, but he did not fail to restore the policy of warfare against those who refused to accept his suzerainty. Mewar was the most prominent of these states which refused to acknowledge the sovereignty of Akbar. And so in 1567, Akbar marched towards Mewar. The ruler of Mewar, Uday Singh, left the defense of Chittor in the hands of Joymal and himself ran away towards the hill. The fort was besieged for a considerable time. The Rajput put up a gallant fight, but ultimately they were defeated and Chittor was conquered by Akbar. And then in 1572, Uday Singh died and Pratap succeeded, and Rana Pratap succeeded him. He was man vigor of courage. He thought that it was a disgrace for the Rajputs to surrender before the Mughals. For about the quarter of a century, Rana Pratap continued his struggle with Mughals. In 1576, he was defeated in the Battle of Haldighat. Though Rana Pratap was defeated, but he was never subdued. He was successful in recapturing the whole of Mewar except Chittor, Ajmer and Malalgarh. Rana Pratap died in 1597, but in last time, in throughout his whole life, Akbar could not subdue him, and either by friendship or by force. In this way, the Rajput policy of Akbar was quite successful. So, what was the significance of Rajput policy? Due to his policy, Akbar was able to build a huge empire. Here we are giving some of the significant results of his Rajput policy. Break of Rajput policy. Break of Rajput unity. The Rajputs were disunited since a long time, but the policy of Akbar was death knell for their unity. It might have been possible for a brave fighter like Rana Pratap to unite the Rajput. Akbar had adopted the policy of reconciliation against Rajput. The second point was the valuable service of Rajput for Mughals. On account of this policy, Akbar was able to a valuable service of brave Rajputs like Raja Todarmal, Raja Bhagwan Das, Raja Mansingh. All these Rajputs help him a lot. They became the friends of empire and did not hesitate to shed their blood for the progress of Mughal empire. According to reconciliation of the Hindus, Akbar was able to win over the Hindus on account of his good treatment towards the Rajputs. Rajputs were a military leader of the Hindus community, and when they joined the Mughal army, the Hindus also worked for the welfare of the empire. Progress of the empire also started. The policy of Akbar also resulted against the Rajput. The progress of empire also started. The Rajput and other Hindus served the empire in purified heart and administrative, military, economic spheres. They not only fought for Akbar but also helped him a lot in the administrative system and in the development of art, architecture and culture. Development of Indo-Islamic culture also started. The most important result of Akbar's Rajput policy was that Hindu and Muslim came in close contact to each other. Before Akbar, they never saw each other eye to eye. It was only during the reign of this great Mughal that they began to exchange their ideas and thoughts. This resulted in the development of Indo-Muslim culture. The Hindus started studying Urdu and the Persian, while the Muslim did not lot for the adventure of Hindu. There is a communication, there is a good relation between Hindu and Muslim. A national school of art was created, and both Muslim and Hindu joined hands for the development of Indo-Muslim art. In this way, the evolution of growth of Akbar expanded day to day. This is the Rajput policy of Akbar. Okay, and then we start about the religious policy of Akbar. Do you any question? Hello.
No, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Next question. नेक्स्ट कौन पढ़िबा तांको एटा पढ़िबा ना गोल्डन एज ऑफ मोगल पीरियड पढ़िबा शाहजहांटा
जोटा आपण कहले रिलीजियस
पॉलिसी ऑफ अकबर
ଆଜ୍ଞା ରିଲିଜିୟସ୍
ପଢିବା
ପଲିସିଟା
ପଢିବା
ତାରି ସାଙ୍ଗରେ
ଓକେ ଓକେ ଠିକ ଅଛି। ତ ଆକବର ହଉଛି ଆକବର କାହିଁକି ହଉଛି ମାନେ ଦୁଇଟା ସାରା ଆମର ଭଲ ପାଇଲେ ବିକଜ ଅଫ ହି ଇଜ ଏ ଗୁଡ ହାର୍ଟେଡ ମ୍ୟାନ ହି ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟେଡ ଦିନ୍ ଇଲାହି ଏଣ୍ଡ ଏଭ୍ରିଥିଙ୍ଗ Akbar as a good administrator, the emperor a benevolent ruler, he has so many ministers, those some are included Hindus also. The revenue system of Akbar is also so good. Judicial administration also very good. Therefore, Akbar was a good ruler at that time. Okay. Now also other questions arises in Akbar chapter. Social and economic reforms of Akbar. এটা পড়িবা কি? Social and economic
social and
reforms
economic reform
of Akbar. এটা
of
পড়ে।
Akbar
ହଁ
ହଁ
ଏଇଟା ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଅଛି ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ।
ହଁ
yes yes.
yes yes
ଠିକ ଅଛି।
What steps did Akbar take bring about the national integration of the country and the people of his age? He succeeded in his objective. Social reforms, abolition of pilgrim tax. For winning over the goodwill, Akbar abolished the pilgrim tax in 1563. He was a great reform from the point of view of Hindu society. The Muslim opposed this move on the ground that it would a huge loss to the royal treasury, but Akbar preferred a large sum of rupees 1 crore annually in order to win over the Hindus on his side. Some Muslims also pleaded that it was a tax which the Hindus were paying for a long time. It should not be abolished, but Akbar paid no attention to their views. He also abolished jizya. Abolition of jizya was also an effective step from the social point of view. It was a tax on the faith of any man. By abolishing this tax, Akbar was able to remove the deep-rooted bitterness of Hindu against Muslim ruler. Marriage reforms. Akbar took up certain bold steps in connection with the system of marriage. He discouraged the child marriage. The system of family infanticide was also discouraged. No boy was allowed to marry before the age of 16. No girl below the age of 14. For the performance of marriage, the consent of bride and bridegroom was essential. Another law regarding the marriage of the sons and daughters of nobles was imposed. No nobleman could marry his daughter or son without taking certificate age by an official of the office. For looking into the matters of marriage, 2 officials called. It is very much necessary. Discouragement of sati system and daughters murder. In Rajput, there was a bad system of killing their daughters at the time of birth. Akbar gave special instruction to check up this system. He also tried to remove the custom of sati from Hindus. However, a Hindu lady could perform this ceremony of her own will, but she could not be complete. For his ceremony, special inspectors were appointed to look after their affairs. And then abolition of the system of embellishment. There was a system that wives and children of conqueror people were embellished. Akbar abolished the system and all persons in India were put free. Next है check or position. There was a large number of prostitution in capital. By an order, Akbar asked all these prostitutes to leave an allotted place. The name of this place was kept Sitanpur. 2 officials were appointed to look after the prostitute into the matter of prostitution. And next, the restriction of non-vegetarian food. By the influence of Hindus, by influence of Jijabai, Akbar discouraged the people take non-vegetarian food. Later on, he also left meat eating. People could take meat and wine on the advice of the doctor. Other reforms also took place by Akbar. Besides the above mentioned reforms, Akbar took certain other steps to reform the society. The means of communication and transport were increased. New hospitals were constructed. There was a different department also organized, and both for Hindus and Muslims. He introduced Ilahi Samat, and then his economic reform. First upon abolition of Jagirs. As we have already discussed, Akbar abolished the Jagirdari system. All Jagirs were converted into crown land. The revenue was collected directly from the peasants. Secondly, organization of royal mint. Akbar made certain changes in the organization of the royal mint. Abdul Sahmad was appointed the mint minister, and various officers were appointed to look after the affairs of provincial mints of Lahore, Jaunpur, Bengal, Gujarat. In coins, pure gold was used. The coins were standard weight for the coinage of Akbar. According to Dr. V. A. Smith, written, Akbar deserves high credit for the excellence of his extremely varied coin as regards purity of metal, fullness of weight, and Asiatic execution. The Mughal coin system compared with that of the Queen Elizabeth of other contemporary sovereignty in Europe. Most of the superior of the whole. Akbar and his successor seem never to have the temptation of the debasing and coinage in the either weight of the purity. The first European power with whom Akbar came in the contact with the Portuguese. They were first to come India, Goa with the popular place. Besides this, the South India of the western coast, they had established their colonies. At that time, in 1579, Akbar requested to Goa sent him to learned priests to teach him fundamental duty. The second mission of Akbar, however, they failed, but Akbar were recalled in 1583. These economic reforms were established by Akbar. Okay. Next. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Next, I will discuss about development and culture of Akbar. Yes or no? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Development culture of Akbar. Okay. Education system. Akbar, although Akbar was not an educated person, yet the respectable learned people, he paid enough attention toward the development of education and other cultural activity. For the development of education, he carried out the following instrument. First thing, he establishment of school and appointments of teacher, arrangement of pre-education, arrangement for teaching and princess of Oman, arrangement of library, literature, and Persian literature. In original manuscript, special attention was paid to letters. The letters of contemporary learned men were of a very high order. The court of Akbar consists of Persian poets, some of whom had completed a complete Diwani. Ain-e-Akbari, Abul Fazl mention has been made, or 59 poets. Besides, there were 15 others who never came near Akbar. They had sent their works to Akbar from different places. Faizi Khan and brother of Abdul Fazl was one of those 59 poets. Letters of Abdul Fazl have been collected and complete. Abul Rahim Khan translated Darbarnama. Beduni translated Jamini. Rashidi and Amir Shihaj translated part of Jihaluddin Mirza. In this way, a well-known work of astrology, Tajak and Babar's Tujki-e-Babri was also translated into Persian. Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, and Atharva Veda were also translated into Persian. The important works of that time include Akbarnama, Ain-e-Akbari of Abul Fazl, Tabkit-e-Akbari of Nizamuddin Ahmad, Humayunnama of Begum Gulbadan, Tariq-ul-Waqiyat of Mehtur Jahar, Tafri-e-Akbar Shahi of Shahi-e-Abbas, Akbarnama of Shahi-e-Fijari, and Muktab ul Tawarik by Abdul Qadir. It is said that there was the child many prayers and education, but in this way Akbar was illiterate, but he respect all the educated person. Therefore, he was remarkable in Indian history. Okay. Okay. And
Okay.
now the time for discussion and doubt. এইটা চলে এসছে হ্যালো হ্যালো
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ तो write down the question of Akbar. Open your copy. Okay. Discuss the role of Akbar in Indian history. Hello. Hello, ଲେଖୁଛ
Yes,
ନା ରେ?
ma'am.
हाँ. Discuss the role of Akbar in Indian history. Number 2.
मैडम एटा लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन रे पढुछु ना एटा
कौन
शॉर्ट
कहले?
टाइप रे
एटा 10 नंबर रो भी पढ़ी पारे जो लास्ट क्वेश्चन टा नचेत एटा
आगे
लॉन्ग भी पढ़िबो हैला. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हैला गिव एन अकाउंट ऑफ द early life of Akbar. And the problems he had to face on the occasion of the throne.
Ma'am, repeat.
Give an account. ମୁଁ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଡାକୁଛି ଲେଖ ବ୍ୟସ୍ତ ହୁଅନି. Give an account of the early life of Akbar and the problems he had to face on the accession of the throne.
problems he had to face
Problems he had to face on the association to the of the throne. ମାନେ ସେ ସିଂହାସନ ଆରୋହଣ କରିବା ଭିତରେ ତାଙ୍କ ଜୀବନରେ କେଉଁ କେଉଁ ଅସୁବିଧାର ସମ୍ମୁଖୀନ ହୋଇଥିଲେ ହେଲା. ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ.
Ma'am, of the association of the
throne THRONE THRONE. ହେଲା. Next question. Give an account of the political condition of India. Give an account of the political condition of India at the time of association of Akbar. हैला नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हु वाज बैराम खान नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन
ଏଟା short ରେ ହିଁ ପଢିପାରିବେ।
हाँ एगुड़ा सर्ट भी पढ़ी पारे जे शुण टिके बेसिक पढ़ी देथिबो जे धर सर्ट पढ़ला सर्ट रे लिखिदबो 10 10 20 लास्ट क्वेश्चन जदि न पढ़िला ताले 20 करके ताकू टिके आउ टिके मॉडिफाई करके लिखि परिबो हैला नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन ओके एक्सप्लेन अकबर्स पॉलिसी टुवर्ड्स द राजपूत explain Akbar's policies towards the Rajput and account for the progressive deterioration of Mughal Rajput. Relation under his successors.
Declaration ना मैडम detonation।
Spelling DETEROICRATION कौन हम कहल देखिए डेटियोरेशन हिस्टोरिकल वर्ड नले एमिति लिख दियो गिव एन अकाउंट फॉर द प्रोग्रेसिव एटीट्यूड ऑफ मुगल राजपूत हैला रिलेशन अंडर हिज सक्सेसर ओके नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन evolution and growth of Akbar's religious policy define evolution and growth of Akbar's religious policy ହେଲା ଲେଖିଲ ସମସ୍ତେ next question discuss the
Ma'am,
hello
repeat please.
okay yes करछि define the religious policy of Akbar एटा लेखो नहले से सेम थिंग evolution and growth of Akbar's religious policy अच्छा कहलो देखिया से रिलीजियस पॉलिसी पई कोन करथिले भाभी भाभी की कुह टिके मते से रिलीजियस
मैम से दिन इलाही जोटा करथिले आपनकर
हाँ
दिन इलाही
तापरे
से जो इबादत खाना गोटे से करथिले प्रतिष्ठा करथिले सेथरे सब जो रिलीजियस स्कॉलर्स माने आसी के चर्चा कर परथिले से बहुत सेक्युलर किंग थिले सब धर्म को इक्वल इंपोर्टेंस दोथिले
yes and then
और मैडम रिलीजियस डिबेट भी करूଥିଲେ।
that is the cultural activity of Akbar did you know yes
ଏଟା ରିଲିଜିୟସ ରେ ଯିବ ନା
yes marriage with Amber princess abolition of pilgrim tax abolition of jizya tax appointment of Hindu in higher post prohibition of forcible conversation pillar of amity equality kindness तो ये जो कंक्लूजन टा मु डाकी दोची एटा परफेक्टली लेखिबो हला अकबर को रिलीजियस पॉलिसी जो पढिबो तार कंक्लूजन टा डाकी दोची लेखो हला in the infallibility decree INFALIBILITY the infallibility decree in the greatest landmark in Akbar's religious policy. It has been compared with Henry VIII Act of Supremacy. Akbar followed a liberal and enlightened policy towards the Hindus. Akbar followed a liberal and enlightened policy towards the Hindus. He had to embark upon a policy of reconciling the Hindus who constituted the rule of the population of the country.
Ma'am, repeat.
को पाखरु करबी को केते पर्यंत लेखिछ कोन
Reconciling of Hindu
who constituted the rule of the population of the country. The Babur and Humayun were not a fanatics. They were certainly not liberal. Akbar, by his largeness of mind, liberty of attitude and nationalistic approach, Akbar, by his largeness of mind, liberty of attitude and nationalist approach, proved himself unique among the rulers of Middle Age, and a greatest among the Muslims of Indian history. Akbar's religious policy based on 4 pillars. Akbar's religious policy based on 4 pillars, such as equality, kindness, tolerance, and amity. Amity, equality, kindness, and tolerance. Akbar removed all restriction in the constitution and maintenance of Hindu temples. Akbar removed all the restriction on the construction of and maintenance of Hindu temples, churches and other places of worship. In order to place his Hindu subjects, Akbar adopted their social customs and practices. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, any question? Any doubt about this? Any doubt about this chapter?
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
मैम से जो सब रिलीजन को लेके से जो डिबेट करूले सेटा रिलीजियस पॉलिसी रे जीवनी
निहाती जीव कहीं जीवनी ଆରେ ସେଇ ଇବାଦତ ଖାନାଟା ଯୋଉ କରିଥିଲେ ସବୁ ଧର୍ମକୁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ନେଇକି କରିଥିଲେ। ତ ସେଠି ସେ ସାଂସ୍କ୍ରିଟ ର ପଣ୍ଡିତ ରଖିଥିଲେ, ଆରବିକ ମାନଙ୍କର ପଣ୍ଡିତ ରଖିଥିଲେ, ପାର୍ସି ମାନଙ୍କର ରଖିଥିଲେ। ମାନେ ସବୁ ଧର୍ମର ଭଲ ଭଲ ମାନେ ଜ୍ଞାନୀ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି ମାନଙ୍କୁ ଆଣିକି ରଖିଥିଲେ। ତେଣୁ
ଧର୍ମଗୁରୁ ମାନଙ୍କୁ।
ହଁ ଧର୍ମଗୁରୁ ମାନଙ୍କୁ, ଆଉ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ଏଗୁଡାକୁ ସେ ଶୁଣୁଥିଲେ। ତେଣୁ ସେଟା ବି ହବ ହେଲା।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା ଓକେ ଓକେ।
ଓକେ ଓକେ। Susanti, you have no question? Susanti Swai. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
You have you have no question about these things?
Yes, ma'am.
ओडिया रे पुଅ?
I have a
हाँ हाँ
question.
हाँ tell me.
Who is Jahangir?
Jahangir was the son of କିଏ ଥିଲେ? ଶାହାଜାହାନ।
Akbar.
ନା ନା ନା, ଆକବରଙ୍କର ପୁଅ ହେଲା ଜାହାଙ୍ଗୀର ହେଲା। ଜାହାଙ୍ଗୀରଙ୍କର 4ଟି ପୁଅ ଥିଲେ, ସେମାନେ ହେଲେ ଦାରା, ସୁଜା, ନୁରା ଆଉ ଔରଙ୍ଗଜେବ। ଜାହାଙ୍ଗୀର ବିଷୟଟା ପଢେଇଦେବି କି ଟିକେ? ଅଛି ତ ଟାଇମ, ଶୁଣିବ?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
ଓକେ ହଁ କହିଦଉଛି ହେଲା, ଷ୍ଟୋରିଟା ଖାଲି ଗୋଟେ ଇଏ କରିକି କହିଦଉଛି। ହଉ ରେଡି? ହଁ, discuss the role of Jahangir, discuss the role of Nur Jahan during the reign of Jahangir. In the medieval India, women like Razia Begum, Chand Bibi, and Nur Jahan showed a great interest in the politics. But the story of Nur Jahan must occupy a very important place in the history of Jahangir. Although she was not the ruler, yet she would understand the most intricate problems of the state without any difficulty. No political or diplomatic problem was beyond her comprehensions. The greatest statesman minister of her times impressed to her with her beauty and ability. She was completely impressed her husband to such an extent that he was completely on her influence and neglected the state affairs. So far as Nur Jahan was concerned, she worked very hard. But in spite of this, Nur Jahan had her faults also. His character and ambition plans proved many revolts, which proved a fatal to the Mughal Empire. Nur Jahan was the daughter of Ghias Beg, who was a native of Tehran. On account of unfavorable circumstances, Mirza Ghias Beg had to leave Tehran and he came to India. In Kandahar, his wife gave birth to a daughter. Mirza Ghias Beg was helped by a wealthy merchant, Malik Masood, and he was the man who introduced him to the Mughal emperor. Akbar Mirza Ghias was employed there, and due to his ability and intelligence in 1595, he became a Mansabadar of 300. Her first marriage, Mehrunisa Nur Jahan, was married to Ali Kuli Beg, a person of adventure in the Mughal service. When Prince Salim led an expedition against Malwa, Ali Kuli was in his service. At that time, he killed a tiger and so he was given the title of Sher Afghan. But Sher Afghan betrayed the province when he revolted against his father. Later on, Jahangir forgave Sher Afghan and restored Jahangir. He was sent to the provincial of Bengal. In Bengal, Sher Afghan revolted against the imperial government. It was also reported that Sher Afghan was the brain behind the revolt. The emperor ordered Qutbuddin, the governor of Bengal, to send Sher Afghan to the Mughal court. It is said that when Qutbuddin killed Sher Afghan, Mehrunissa, the widow of Sher Afghan, was brought to the Mughal court. She was placed under the Sultana Salima Banu Begum in 1607. In 1611, Jahangir saw her in Fancy Bazaar and was so much attracted with her beauty that he married and gave her the title of Nur Mahal, or the Light of Palace. Later on, the title was changed onto Nur Jahan, and that is the light of the world. According to Dr. Beni Prasad, is of the opinion that the period of Nur Jahan ascendancy can be divided into two parts. First period, this was the period when the entire government was in the hands of Nur Jahan. Her father, her brother Asaf Khan, and Prince Khurram means Jahangir, the son-in-law of Asaf Khan. The whole part was called Nur Jahan Junto. The party had complete control over the administration of the state. During this period, Nur Jahan did a lot for the development of fine arts. She helped the poor and invented new fashion. Her ambitions were restrained by her parents. No doubt in this period, the party he completed the command over the affairs of the state. Still, Jahangir enjoyed a good deal of influence in the state. In this period, Nur Jahan Junto established peace, order, prosperity in the whole kingdom. It was the first phase. The second phase started 1622 to 27. During this period, Jahangir was no more in the picture. He was completely in the background. Nur Jahan was the vital ruler of India during this period. There was a
Ma'am,
division. Oh, yes.
मैम फर्स्ट फेज का वो
फर्स्ट फेज में कौन कौन था?
नहीं नहीं मैम, वो फर्स्ट
और?
फेज का वो मस्ट ईयर बताइए जो जैसे
ओहो।
सेकंड फेज 1622 से
Yes, yes. First phase 1611 to 22. Okay.
22, सेकंड फेज
Okay.
1622 to 27.
To 27. Second phase.
Okay.
Okay. Complete in the background, Nur Jahan was the vital ruler of India. During this period, there was a division in the former of Nur Jahan's junto. The division was due to the relation and many reasons that she tired that her son-in-law Shahryar should be succeeded Jahangir in place of Shahjahan. Shahjahan revolted against Jahangir, and Nur Jahan had caused a great revolt in the empire. Nur Jahan was so much power, drunk that always he drunk Jahangir. She did not care the advice of any faithful servant of the empire. The result was that the revolt of Mohabad Khan, which ultimately resulted in the degeneration of the empire. Effect of Nur Jahan influence. After his marriage with Nur Jahan, Jahangir came under her influence. Nur Jahan was very intelligent, beautiful lady. Besides being pretty and charming, Jahangir was so influenced by her that he became mere self to her. He completely became different to the state affairs. He entrusted all the work of the government to Nur Jahan's hand. Jahangir himself used remark, "I have sold my kingdom to my beloved queen for a cup of wine and a dish of soup." Gradually, the coins began to bear Nur Jahan's name, and she made royal declaration also. Thus, during 1611 to 1627 AD, Nur Jahan deeply influenced the policy of the country and the character of Jahangir. Okay.
Okay मैम.
Okay. और कुछ क्वेश्चन लेना है? कुछ क्वेश्चन लेना है क्या?
लीजिए मैम.
लिखो. critically examine
Yes.
the responsibility of Nur Jahan. Critically examine the responsibility of Nur Jahan. Next
ma'am.
question. Discuss the role of Nur Jahan. During the reign of Jahangir. And at that time, which states were captured by Nur Jahan?
Yes, ma'am.
Write short notes about Akbar. लिखो. Akbar. इबादत खाना. दिन इलाही.
Yes.
First phase of Nur Jahan. second phase of Nur Jahan. Effect of Nur Jahan's influence. Battle of Panipat. Battle of Panipat. And then Akbar's Rajput policy. Akbar's Rajput policy. If any doubt about these things, you will tell me in the next class. We start the block number 4. Okay. Block number 4 we will be in block number 4 we will discuss about these things. If we have time or not, then we will start the block number 4. Okay. Which subject we will read in block number 4? आमे कोउटा पढिबा ब्लॉक नंबर 4 रे कार मने अछि?
colonization
Colonialization
And industrialization.
Yes, first we will read about colonialization.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Colonization part 1.
Part 1. And then and then
Ma'am, block 5.
industrial. Yes, block 5.
Administrative and institutional structure.
Yes, and then next part of administrative and institutional section and colonial part 2.
Yes.
This is the last chapter.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Or any doubt about these things? So tell me. तमे सबुदिन क्वेश्चन आंसर प्रैक्टिस करूच? ओके. लक्ष्मी प्रिया कुआडे गले? सुशांति स्वाई, लक्ष्मी प्रिया. हाँ, तमे लेखुच?
यस मैम.
ओके. कौन लेखिलणी?
मैम वो फर्स्ट पेपर का वो क्वेश्चन आंसर बना रहे हैं.
ओहो. उषा?
Yes, ma'am.
If you practice all the question, if we will practice every and each question.
Yes, ma'am.
सबुदिन तमे ताको प्रैक्टिस करी कि ताको लेखुच न देखि कि?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. लिपिका रानी?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
तमे लेखुच?
Again.
Yes, very good. आ को माने न लेखुच मते कहबो. खाली पढ़ी के मने रखछ कि?
मैम मो डेटा क्लास मिस करथली नथिले तो सेथिरे कोन डकाइतला मु जेटा लेखिनी आगुर जोटा लेखि देखिले मु लेखथली विजय सर तापरे जो मु डेटा क्लास मिस कर देछि डेटा कि तीनटा क्लास सेटा लेखिनी.
ओहो. तो देखिबा सेठ तो सब स्टूडेंट माने भी अछंती, सार अछंती, सब प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हे परिबो. हैला? हे परिबो.
मैडम आज हमरो असाइनमेंट होछि तारो केमती कोन तार थाए प्रेजेंटेशन केमती कोन लेखियारो सेटा
सेटा विजय सर को ये सर को पचारिबो रे. सी सब ए विषय बेटर माने सी ए सब रे बहुत भलो कि माने तुमको फोकस दे परिबे. काली जेतबे क्लास स्टार्ट हो
डेट सितंबर होछि ना सितंबर आई थिंक सबमिशन डेट सितंबर मंथ रे होछि.
यस. ओके. आ किछ कहबो? टाइम हे गलानी हैला. Good bye to all. For next class. Okay. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye. Thank you for your kind cooperation. Okay.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.